guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Will, and today I'm going to be reading some more old stories that I have uncovered from my past. I definitely went through a phase in my life where I was convinced that I was going to be an author and that was just going to be my career in life, and the people around me definitely just fed into that and hyped up my stories and made me believe that I was insanely talented at story writing. I was convinced that was going to be like everything for me. Like by now I'd be a published, well-known author and you'd be reading my book right now. Obviously that didn't happen. I posted a video not that long ago where I read the Hunger Games inspired story that I wrote when I was 13, and someone commented that it was skillfully cringy, and that is the funniest comment I've ever read. So today I thought I'd dig a little deeper into my past and read stories that I wrote even before that. So I did have this whole vampire saga of stories that I wrote. I'm not going to be covering the vampire stories in this video because it already has its own separate video. This is just randomized stories that I wrote throughout elementary school. So this first story I wrote is called The Strange Battle, and I don't know if I wrote this just like for fun or like if it was for a school thing, but it was about my childhood best friend Allie and I went over to her house basically like every week and we hung out, and Allie had a bunch of cats. One of them was a real bitch. I was kind of scared of it. The rest of them were super sweet, but this one I was like terrified of, and that's basically the premise of this entire story. So I was about 9 and I was over at my friend Allie's. As I walked inside, I heard a jingle bell. Allie and I were already settled on the sofa watching a movie. Piper walked through the kitchen and Isis, another cat, through the other side. Before I go any further on this story, I just want to clarify that the cat was named Isis, I-C-E-S, and has no relation to the terrorist group. I did not name the cat was named before then. No correlation whatsoever. I just want to make that very clear before I keep on reading. And for the sake of the rest of this video, I'm going to just refer to the cat as Izzy instead of Isis because it's just better that way. The gray cat, Peter, came up to us. Minnie, another cat, came by us too. Suddenly the cat started hitting us. Piper hit my leg and Izzy hit Allie's arm. "Piper, that's not funny," Allie said. Next, Allie and I jumped off of the sofa, mostly out of play, but a little of fear. Piper looked as if he was smiling. They jumped up onto the sofa watching the movie. Allie went to sit down in the chair and Minnie moved off of the sofa. "These cats are crazy," I said. "Have they always been this way?" "No," Allie said, "of course not." It was hard to believe at that point. The cats were mocking us. Finally, Piper went into the kitchen to eat. After a game of tag, he was happy. The cats won. I woke up about 2 a.m. with Piper licking my toes. It was not very pleasant. A cold, rough snake licking your feet? That's just plain weird. That morning, the cats were asleep after pestering us all night. They were so cute, but so fierce. Allie practiced her gymnastics for wide-eyed Piper after about 5 minutes, but then of course they started playing again. "Are you sure these are your perfect cats?" I asked. She didn't answer. I thought about my cat, the same breed as Piper and about the same age, but not a toe licker. Seriously, I've never seen a cat like Peter, Minnie, Piper, or Izzy before. I glanced at my watch. My mom will be there to pick me up in an hour. I started packing my stuff. The door shut this time so Piper couldn't lick my feet. Allie and I were going to exit her bedroom. Piper was waiting. "I promise they won't be this crazy next time," Allie said. "Next time?" I said. "I'm bringing catnip." And that was supposed to be like the whole punchline of the story, like funny, haha, but I feel like catnip would make them crazier. Would it not? Like apparently I thought that was the solution. I also wish that there was more like conflict resolution in this story, like more of the actual battle instead of just, moving on so quickly from it. And also, was this written by Dan Schneider? Like what the fuck? Who cares about a toe-licking cat? Like I'm sure it's happened. Has my cat somehow managed to lick my toes before? Yes, she has, but am I gonna write a whole story based on that premise? No, I most certainly am not. I think it's a little weird that that was one of the points I was really bringing into this story, was how much the cats were like licking me. I don't know, put a sock on your foot. I don't know what else to tell ya. Let's move on to the next one, which is Also about cats. This was an ode to Peanut the cat. And for reference, this is a cat I had for 11 years. I got when he was a little kitten. Back in October, we had to surrender both of my cats to the Humane Society due to some circumstances going on at home. So he unfortunately is not with me anymore. Willow, the cat that I have now, ended up being re-put into the Humane Society. So after our situation had resolved, we were able to adopt her back. But the same thing didn't happen for the other cat, so that's why he's no longer with me. But this was an ode to him. A cream-colored tabby with an orange nose, purring so loud and so strong. Your eyes are so blue and so wide. Your purrs are a sweet song. You climb up high to be the best. You thought a cricket was a toy. You chased away a pest, which was a fly. You run after a string and then take a nap. You felt everybody to know where they're at, but that's because you're a cat. Beautifully written, a touching memoir to a beautiful, beautiful boy. His purrs really were loud and strong too, like I could hear him across the room. I don't know how old I was when I wrote this. It's like one of those things that's like kind of cute, but also like kind of borderline, what the fuck. Moving on to 6th grade memories. Everyone in my 6th grade class had to write this little like paragraph when the school year concluded, because obviously we were going on from elementary school to junior high, so it was a big thing, and we had to write about our memories. And also, fun fact, like everyone's stories from our class was like put into like a printed, all of them were printed out and like distributed, so we have everybody's. But because we were going alphabetically on the list, my story was first, the one like cover page. And reading what I wrote, it's kind of concerning the fact that anyone read it, but it says, next year we take a new step and go to a new place. But before I walk away, I shall say, the memories will stay. Gossip in my class, talking behind backs. How did someone let that slide? How did someone read that and be like, great memories to take from your 6th grade experience? Like that's what we want. That's what we want to hear moving forward. That's definitely, the first thing we want people to read about your 6th grade experience. Like, how did no one tell me to like not maybe write that? I don't know. Ian saying the opposite of pie is cake when it shall be negative 3.14. Looking at the tiny kids with shovels and rakes learning how to pot their first plant. Laughter, fun, and a teacher so cool. It'll be a shame to leave this great school. But I'm not done yet. There was outdoor ed and we spent the night. Some crazy boys said they had a pillow fight. Zip lines, skits, drama too. Once again, more drama. Now it's time to walk through the doors for the very last day and leave this school. Time to pack up my bags and never return. I'll turn back down this dusty road someday. Goodbye, elementary. A dramatic, inspiring ballad about leaving elementary school. Why was I so dramatic? Why was I so extra? I couldn't just write a normal paragraph like everyone else. I had to take it and make it something. Then we have a story called Pine Needles, which is basically just about what a loser I was and how I didn't participate with the other children. I noticed that the pine needles that fell off the tree looked like a soft grass blanket covering the ground. I noticed that the grass and the pine give it a nature smell. I feel the wind blowing on the tree and me. I also hear people running and shouting and birds chirping. The pine needles feel like hay. The grass and pine needles look soft, but they're hard. This makes me realize that just because something looks one way, that doesn't mean that's what it is. For example, someone may look big, mean, and scary, but they might be warm, friendly, and caring. Another example is an animal. An animal might look odd, weird, mean, and cruel, but they could be nice. I used to think that nothing is different from looks, but now I realize that it is different from looks. This is important to me because if people keep judging others by looks, the world could be a terrible place to be. Another example is maybe this happened to you. Maybe somebody judged you by your looks. You might have felt mad or sad. Maybe out of anger, you might do it to others and hurt their feelings. Anger out of judgment is bad because anger is only one letter short of danger. I definitely found that on Pinterest and decided to just roll with that. Maybe you judge food. Some young kids say, I'm not eating this gross food, but later they try it and say, yum, how could I have judged this by looks? Yes, that's exactly what the 5-year-olds are saying these days. Just because something looks one way to you doesn't mean that's what it is. This is true because how would you feel if someone judged you? Exactly. That's why I agree that just because something looks one way doesn't mean that's not what it is. I was really just repeating the same sentence over and over, trying to get that word count, huh? For example, say there was this new kid in class that started 2 days ago. At recess, you play with your friend and you tag that friend. That friend falls over not because he's hurt, but because he likes to be dramatic. The new kid thinks you pushed him, but later she regrets judging you. This is important, and you should believe it too. You won't regret not judging people, food, animals, books, and anything else. So basically, it sounds like what happened is I was provoked. Somebody thought something about me, and I decided to write this whole paragraph about it. I think it's so funny, like this had to be a school thing, right? And I was just driving my point home in the last paragraph, like I'm talking all about not judging and being cool, but that fucking bitch thought that I pushed that bitch down, and they were wrong. They judged me harshly, and they were wrong. And you should believe it too. You best believe that he only fell because he's being dramatic, not because I'm a bitch. Let me set the record straight this year, y'all. And we have one more story, also about a cat, but I have unfortunately lost the rest of the parts of this series. It was a whole series about like my cat that I had at the time, my childhood cat, Dewey. The Adventures of Dewey Decimal, The Big Battle. I like that I had this cute little table of contents too, but it's literally like 2 pages. But we have Meeting Pepper, Enemy, The War, Coconut Bra, I assume it's meant to be like brawl, and then we have Winner. Whatever the fuck that means. Chapter 1. I'm sure that you read our first book, and second. Well, I haven't. Dewey now lives with Kai, who was changed back to Ginger, and he lives with Callie, a tiny black and white kitten. Hey, Ginger, Callie, look over there. There's a new cat in Catland. Hello, were you talking about me? I'm Pepper. Salt and Smokey have been talking about you, Pepper said. Dewey wasn't sure what to say. You know, I can't say that I'd be sure what to say either. Whatever, Dewey said. Oh no, did that sound mean? Mean is odd for me. I better say sorry, Pepper. And for jokes I should add, were you sprinkled on an egg with salt? No, that's too mean, Dewey thought. Honestly, like that's my inner monologue to myself every day. Should I tell a joke? Should I just let it go? I don't know. To be determined. Sorry about how I said whatever, Pepper, Dewey said. There, he said it. Oh, I hate you, you immature cat, Pepper snarled. Chapter 2. Well, Callie and Ginger and I have better friends, Dewey yelled as he ran back to his oak tree home. He made Callie and Ginger each a cup of iced tuna fish tea. Not gonna lie, that's kind of funny, and I thought I was so creative and funny for like thinking of tuna fish tea. Oh, I can't bear it, I have an enemy in Catland. Just then Dewey got a text from his friend Manly. They were ditching him for Pepper. Oh, and Pepper demanded war. I feel like we kind of grazed over the whole war thing, like Manly's here, whatever. Oh, and he wanted war, just side note, keep that in the back of your mind. War is coming. Chapter 3. Dewey sharpened his claws. He got Ginger and Callie all ready for the war. His team was called the... Unfortunately for us, that is where the story ends. We'll never know the result of the war. We'll never know what became of the cats, because when I was sifting through old stories, I found that page, but I guess the other pages came detached somehow and I couldn't find them anywhere. And so that is where the story concludes. We don't get to find out what happened in the war, and we'll just never know. It's going to be one of those mysteries of life that's unresolved. That is all for those stories I wrote in my childhood video, and I will see you guys in my next.